Shalom, everyone, and welcome to Jerusalem. In a few days, it will be the birthday of the Rebbe of Lubavitch, and so I'd like to tell you a story in his honor. Many years ago, here in Israel, there was a young couple that suffered great trials and tribulations during the birthing process, pregnancy. They didn't have trouble necessarily conceiving, but once they would conceive and go through pregnancy, doctors had major doubts and worried for the fate of the wife that she wouldn't make it. Nevertheless, they did manage to have a few children, but each and every time it got worse and worse until the doctors warned her that if she got pregnant again, she probably would not make it through the whole process. She did get pregnant again, and all the doctors had major worries, told her that it wasn't going to be good. So she turned with her husband to seek out great righteous individuals, Kabbalists, to find some kind of respite from the fate that these doctors had seemingly sealed her to. To no avail. Eventually, a friend of hers recommended that she write a letter to the Rebbe of Lubavitch in New York, and so they did. Months went by, and it neared the time when they were expected to give birth. And finally, they received a letter from the Rebbe. In it, the Rebbe told the husband to go to a nearby town precisely at 4:30 to be at a certain factory. Then he said, "You will see the men leaving work to go home. You should count exactly 10 men, and at the 10th man, you should follow him wherever he goes." The Rebbe didn't say any more. They were quite flabbergasted, you can imagine, but the husband diligently followed the instructions, found the factory, and came early. And by 4:30, he saw that, as the Rebbe said exactly, the men let out from work. He counted the first man, the second man, the third man, all the way to the 10th man. Finding a very normal-looking individual, he started following him from a safe distance. The man went, as you would imagine, to his home. He opened the door and he went in. But the Rebbe didn't give him more instructions. Now what? Eventually, he figured he couldn't have come all this way for nothing. So, the husband went and knocked on the door. A woman opened. "Yeah, what can I do for you?" He says, "The man who just came in here, can I speak with him, please?" He said, "Sure." She closed the door and she went to find him. Next thing, the door opens and the man's there. "Yeah, who are you? What are you doing here?" He says, uh, um, and then he just broke and he told him everything. "The Rebbe of Lubavitch sent me here." The man said, "You're kidding me. He found me again?" He said, "Please come in." So the husband came in and he told him that they had suffered with all these pregnancy. They wrote to the Rebbe. The Rebbe told him to come exactly here at this time to follow you. The man smiled. He got up and he said to the husband, "Your child will be a beautiful baby boy. In fact, he'll be delivered right about now. Nevertheless, stay here for a moment." And he went to another room and he came back and he presented to the husband a number of sugar cubes. And he says, "While this pregnancy went just fine and your baby boy will be just fine, for the future pregnancies, tell your wife during the time of pregnancy to eat these sugar cubes." The husband was just dumbfounded, but he took the sugar cubes gratefully and he went back home. Lo and behold, his wife had given birth to a baby boy. He told everyone in the room at home what he had just encountered, the whole story with the Rebbe, showed them the sugar cubes. Shortly afterwards, people sought out that same man. He no longer lived in that home, though, and he no longer worked at that factory any longer.